Hey guys, and welcome to an episode of the Transfer List. Today we're looking at Crystal Palace, obviously play in the BPL under manager Tony Pulis, and for me they're doing pretty well at the minute. They're in 18th position. They were in 20th position a few weeks ago. For the quality of players they've got in the squad, that isn't too bad, but by the end of the season I can't really see them getting out of the relegation zone unless they make some good transfers. At the minute, their main weakness is definitely the striker position. Why? Well, basically not enough quality. Shabak and Jerome just aren't good enough. Although Shabak has scored in recent weeks, they definitely need to invest in a striker. So let's take a look at who they could buy in January and the probability of that happening. Let's start at top left, Jordan Rose, 23 years old, so fairly young. Plays for Blackburn in the Championship, probability 20%. It cost 8 million from Huddersfield to Blackburn, so probably cost more than that to go to Crystal Palace. Not sure Crystal Palace have the funds to pay for that. He's a quality player. He scored 16 goals in 24 appearances in the league this season, but I just cannot see Crystal Palace being able to afford him, and for that reason his probability is low at 20%. Top right, Nicholas Bendtner, you all know him, plays for Arsenal in the BPL. Probability 25%. He scored a few goals in recent weeks, actually, whether that's been coming on as a sub or just started the game. Scored a last minute goal actually yesterday. So not the best player in the world, we all know that, but he will get you the odd goal. 25 years old, so should be getting to his peak of his career now, but we won't really know if that'll happen. Well, hopefully he'll play well in the next few years, but we'll see. Probably wouldn't cost too much as he's not a great player, but his wages might be an issue as they are ridiculously high at Arsenal. Bottom left, Peter Crouch, plays for Stoke City, 32 years old, so definitely getting to the end of his career. Probability 35%. He doesn't look too happy at Stoke, not scoring too many goals. I can see him moving. Only scored 2 goals, I think, in the league this season, which is very, very low. 35% chance of moving. He would just add that extra dimension to the Crystal Palace attack. Lots of experience, lots of height, which would help at defending corners, attacking crosses. So basically a lot more goals, hopefully. And then finally, Barthémy Gomez, plays for Lyon. Been linked with Newcastle in particular for the last few years. 28 years old, so again fairly old for a footballer. Probability 35%, that could probably be higher. The only reason it's not higher is because I can't see Crystal Palace getting him of all clubs. He's more likely to go to Newcastle, as I just said. He said himself he wants to leave the club, so I could definitely see him leaving, but not to Crystal Palace, unfortunately. The player I've gone for, my pick for January, is Peter Crouch. Basically just for the experience and the height he adds to the team, a different dimension to the attack. So let's take a look at how Crystal Palace should line up with Peter Crouch in the team. Starting with their keeper, Speroni, bit of a legend, 34 years old, definitely been their best keeper this season. I think he's the only one that's actually played. Been fairly good, to be honest, lots of saves, but hasn't been able to keep all of them out. Moving on to the centre-backs, who are very, very old, Gabidon and Delaney. Gabidon is 34, Delaney 32. Lots of experience, but they are a bit slow and tend to let easy goals through. The full-backs, are Ward and Mariappa. Ward's been pretty good, always support the attack. Mariappa not so much, 27 years old, Ward 24. Ward's pretty quick, to be honest, and always support the attack, as I've said. A few questions could be made about the defensive ability, but definitely a player for the future. Then moving on to the experienced midfield of Dikakui, I really can't pronounce that, sorry, Jedinak and Banan. Dikakui, 29 years old, very, very strong player in the middle of the park. Just offers that, basically strength to defend when he needs to and makes those easy passes to keep the ball moving in the centre of the park. Jedinak, obviously the captain, very experienced. I think he's Australian, but very experienced player. Good passing as well, but just doesn't seem to score many goals, if any. Barry Bannon used to play for Aston Villa, transferred to Crystal Palace. Quite a good signing there, 24 years old, but still fairly young, lots of years left. Is he good enough at the minute? Probably not. I mean, he does take corners, so that's where he can be good, very good corners as well, but apart from that doesn't really offer too much, but does keep keep the ball fairly well, doesn't give it away too cheaply. And then the attack, mix of experience and youth. Blassie, obviously a very good winger, 24 years old. He was incredible in the Championship, not so much in the Premier League because of his injury, but I'm sure he could improve as the season goes on. Peter Crouch, obviously at the head of the triangle attack, 32 years old. He would hopefully get support from the two wingers Jerome and Blassie and score a few headers, and yet Jerome, 27 years old, fairly good player but seems to miss fairly good chances, but does score some ridiculous goals when he wants to. Now the average age of the team is 28.7 years old, so definitely a very old team for a footballing team, but I think they could get Crouch in January and that would help a lot. So leave your opinions on the video, guys. Leave a like if you want and subscribe for more. Goodbye.